one of the remarkable parts of every single Daniel Murphy Scholarship Fund Golf Classic dinner is a speech given by one of our graduating seniors. And tonight, it is my great, great pleasure to introduce to you one of the truly fine young men who has come through our program and who has just graduated from high school. He'll tell you all about it. Please welcome Jordan Richardson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jordan Richardson, and I am very proud to be a Murphy Scholar. It feels so great to be standing on this stage speaking to you. I just graduated from Mount Carmel High School a week ago, and as I was preparing this speech, I began to reflect on the last 4 years. I realized that I had so much that I wanted to talk about, that so much has happened in my life. And I thought about how this was my last high school event, and that as I walk off this stage this evening, I will be heading towards my life as a very independent college freshman. Thank you. But what I wanted to emphasize, what has become so readily apparent as I've engaged in this reflection, is that if there's one thing high school and the Murphy Scholarship Program has taught me, it's the importance of community. I would not be here this evening without community. I'm not nearly as successful as any of you, at least not yet. But I've done pretty well for myself so far. Not only am I a Murphy Scholar graduate, I will be attending The Ohio State University next fall as an Evans Scholar. I say that with a lot of pride, but also with great humility, because I know that so many of you in this room tonight had something to do with helping me get there. I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago in the Roseland neighborhood. For those of you who didn't know, Roseland has just about the highest crime rate in Chicago. Yet, growing up, crime wasn't something that I really noticed. There's a little community in the furthest corner of Roseland called London Town. That's where I live with my brother, sister, and grandmother, who has lived there for 50 years. When I was younger, my friends and I would skateboard in the neighborhood all night. Little did we know that in the next block over, people were at war with each other. Originally, my siblings and I lived with my mother and father, but endless feuding between my dad and the rest of our family tore us apart. Finally, my mom gained the courage to send her kids to stay at my grandma's house because our dad was not being a good parent and didn't set a good example for us. Had my brother, sister, and I continued to stay in the toxic situation that we found ourselves in, I probably wouldn't be standing here in front of you all today. My mom had to make a very big sacrifice by moving us in with my grandmother, but she did it for my siblings and I and my well-being. And in the end, it turned out to be a great decision. Likewise, my grandmother stepped up to the plate and made sure she did everything in her power to give me the greatest life possible. I would like to take this time to recognize these two very strong women in my life who are here with me tonight. Mom and Grandma, please stand. With my best interest in mind, my grandma did things for me that were hard but would eventually pay off, such as sending me to grammar school in the Lincoln Park neighborhood to keep me from getting drawn into the craziness going on in my own neighborhood. For 9 years, she drove me back and forth from the south side to the north side of Chicago every single day to ensure that I would get a good education and stay out of harm's way. So when I opened a letter filled with confetti naming me a Daniel Murphy Scholarship recipient towards the end of 8th grade year, the endless traffic jams and extremely early mornings spent preparing for school proved to be worth it. With the assistance of the Murphy Scholarship, I attended a Catholic high school on the south side of Chicago. High school has been the hardest 4 years of my life. I was challenged by my peers and teachers in ways that I honestly was not prepared for. There were many times that I thought the load was getting too heavy to bear and that I'd be better off throwing in the towel. But what kept me from giving up was community. I had a safe haven to run to, Daniel Murphy. The Daniel Murphy Scholarship Fund is my amazing grace. With Murphy, it's like I had the entire Justice League in my disposal. I may not have found a true sense of community inside the walls of Mount Carmel, but I knew I wasn't alone during my high school years because I had Daniel Murphy to back me up. I was reminded of that support each time a Murphy liaison came to my school, each final study session I attended in the Daniel Murphy office, and admittedly, each time I had to come into the Murphy office to talk about getting a disreporting report card, because it was those interventions that showed me that I had a team of people who were counting on me. But that's so what? Whoa. That's what's so great about the Daniel Murphy Scholarship Fund. The people behind the program are truly invested and believe in the lives of each scholar, all 375 of us. There are all these programs that Murphy runs, including the Caddy program, that focus on productivity, self-development, professionalism, and future success, while simultaneously bringing Murphy scholars closer to one another and closer to Murphy supporters. Before I knew it, I was a part of yet another, arguably my most influential community yet. This is why I say community is so important. Without my London town community, if I have just lived one more block west or one more block south, I could be dead and my life would just be another statistic. Without my community inside of grade school, I would not have gotten a quality education that prepared me for the Murphy Scholars. Without my Murphy community, I don't think I would have made it through high school. Of course, Daniel Murphy supported me financially, but it did so much more beyond that. Daniel Murphy has inspired me, motivated me, pushed me, mentored me, tutored me, and when all my hard work paid off, Daniel Murphy celebrated every triumph with me. I look at my life compared to some of the people that I either grew up with or under similar circumstances. The majority of the young men that live in London town have no drive. They're all content with being mediocre. 2 girls with whom I graduated 8th grade with have kids of their own now. And one guy who I used to be really close friends with is on house arrest. It's interesting to see how 2 people can come from the same place and end up traveling down 2 completely different paths. It doesn't just come down to how smart someone is or how artistic or how ambitious. What it comes down to is making good decisions and keeping the right and finding the right communities to be a part of. I'm so thankful to be a Daniel Murphy Scholar. Not only did Daniel Murphy facilitate my high school success, but it's also the catalyst to what I know will be my college success by setting me up in a position to achieve a greatness. Because of the Daniel Murphy Scholarship Fund, I can say that I was a regional history fair finalist. I made the men's all-conference lacrosse team during my first year of playing the sport. I had an amazing job over the summer, of course, as a caddy. I achieved high honors and honor status all 4 years at Mount Carmel. I have graduated from high school as a Murphy Scholar, and I am both proud and thankful to say that I will be attending The Ohio State University next year as a part of another community, the Evans Scholars community. And my mom and grandma are probably sitting over there wondering, what is all this talk that Jordan's doing about community? Jordan's so independent. And in a sense, I am. Because if I have the means, if I'm given the chance, then I'll get the job done. But starting out, I didn't have the opportunity. I didn't have a path to achieve success. Community, the Murphy Scholar community in particular, gave me that path, provided me with an opportunity. And for that, for your support and all the support of, I'm sorry, I messed up. For your support from me and all the Murphy Scholars, I am forever grateful. Thank you.
All right, if we can continue to have your attention here for 5 minutes. It's not easy following Jordan and all his accomplishments, but it does make it easier for me to ask for your money.